In this video, I'm taking a look at one of the most macabre pieces Lemax has ever released, the Butcher Shop. Guys, what's up? It is Doug, and welcome to another edition of Spooky Villages. Today, I have the Butcher Shop. This is a building that has eluded me to review on this channel for a long time. I don't know why. It's easy enough to get, but I actually recently got my hands on it by way of my friend Kelly from the Village Idiots. I was in her hometown, as I've discussed in the last couple of videos recently, and she loaned me a few of her classic buildings she wasn't currently displaying, so I could do reviews of them. And you know what? So I've got the Butcher Shop here. This is actually the piece that I asked her about originally because I knew she had one of these, and I'm excited to talk about this. Really fast here as we go around the box. She wanted me to say that this box had water damage and when she had gotten it, and everything's fine on the piece though. There's nothing to worry about there. Inside here too. Sorry. Classic Lemax Spooky Town, the foam piece from back in the day. And this piece actually came out, I believe, in 2009. Really at the end of the golden years. That's kind of the last year I consider, you know, a golden year, like one of the golden years for Lemax Spooky Town. But it came out then, and it actually, I believe here, just ended production. So it's been out there for a long time, and it's actually, you know, pretty affordable and easy to get, just as an FYI. So, all right, let's get into the Butcher Shop. So here's the Butcher Shop, guys, out of its box. Let's go around here really quick, and then I'm going to get behind the camera so I can point out a couple things specifically, because this one actually has a lot. The devil is in the details of this piece, let me tell you. So as we go around here, a couple quick things here. I want to make a couple criticisms of this piece because I love this piece, you know, spoiler, and I'm going to gush about it, and that's almost a pun. But anyways, a couple things here. The finish on it, it's a little muted for my taste. If the color was a little bit deeper, it looks like it almost like the finish on it's a smidge, you know, faded, I guess. That'd be my only real critique of it. I like everything else here. It's about appropriately sized too. It's the size of a normal house. It's not, you know, super big necessarily. It's not very small either. Pretty good size on it. But yeah, that's the main thing though, is the finish on it. Would be nice if it was maybe a little bit more not glossy, but a little brighter. It's just a little bit dull. So something I wanted to talk about quickly here that's just interesting to me is that the top of this building right over here where the sign is, it actually is very similar to what was on Rest in Peace's mausoleum. This black part, the design, it looks like they basically just took that and they added it onto here, which is interesting that they just used a, you know, a design motif or mold or something. Now, it obviously didn't have the butcher's knife up here, but yeah. By the way, I love this butcher knife. That is the perfect sign for this. It would be nice if the sign was actually lit. That's a critique here that I'm finding on some of these older buildings. They don't actually have like the top lit here. I think the piece would be a smidge better if it was lit. It would maybe take, I will say though, in the dark, having it not lit, I can also see why people would maybe not like that, because it maybe makes it a little more silly when the piece is a little bit darker. I don't know. I could go either way on it. But anyways, generally, if the sign's going to be there, I like to see it lit up. So, all right, let's get into the details here because this is going to be fun to talk about. All right, guys, this is extremely dark and macabre. So the theme here, this is a butcher shop where it, you know, it's people. It's people being cut up. And so also that implies cannibalism. So let me start here with the window. I'll pick it up here just so I can show you inside. And I'll show you what it looks like lit up here. But we have an internal scene here, which is pretty gross because you have basically a torso, you know, bloody legs and arms. And down here we have, it looks like, you know, intestines and some other things. I mean, it's pretty grisly. And around here we've got buckets of blood. Right here, this cold cuts. Looks like an arm sticking out of it. You have a bloody torso hanging here. I'm not sure what this is here. I'm trying to be careful. I don't want to screw it up, but it looks like it's just a big hunk of meat that's laying there. Then over here, I like how you have a bucket here, more, you know, blood, and it's got a bone in it. You have a shovel, and then in here this grave, which you know, it looks like you can see the bulge here, the grave, but it says died in pieces. So that's where they, you know, have been, I guess, just disposing parts there. Pretty gross, man. It is dark. And then in here, which I'll pick this up again, I'll show you what it looks like lit up here in a minute, but I just wanted to talk about this. We have another internal scene here, which you have this table saw, and you can hear it operating. And I wanted to talk about, and there's also a bloody smear right next to it. Great piece of detail. And I have to say, my one critique of this piece, you know, as far as like everything going on here, because I love the theming, it's super dark, but in here, it would have been nice or somewhere to probably have a figurine on it, somebody who's operating the saw, because you can hear on the soundtrack that the saw is in operation and somebody was being cut up. And, you know, like having a Leatherface type of character or something like that would be interesting. I've not seen the concept art, so I don't know if something was on here and they took it off, but the soundtrack implies, you know, something's on there. And I wonder if that, you know, they didn't show something in there because maybe it was too grisly and they decided now we better not. So, you know, you can use your imagination, and it's cool that the saw is in there. And the soundtrack implies, you know, that you can hear it operating, which is very cool and very dark. You could also add a figurine or something, but really, you know, the butcher is the only thing that I think this piece is missing. So here it is lit up, guys, and it really, you kind of need the soundtrack to go with this. I think it looks fantastic lit up, though, as well. But boy, the soundtrack, when the light, you know, changes to inside the little area there with the like the garage with the saw, and it turns red like that. I mean, it's great. I just absolutely love it. You know, I keep saying it's dark. It just is. It's so dark and macabre. And this, I feel like in general, is about as far as Lemax Spooky Town has pushed things. Now, I'm sure I'm not thinking of a couple things, you know, a couple buildings here, but please put it in the comments below, refresh my memory if you can think of a darker one. I feel like there has been some other dark pieces, obviously, especially around this era, you know, because this is the golden years. I consider the golden years of Lemax Spooky Town 2004 to 2009, so this is a golden years piece. And you did have, in that era, you know, a lot of darker style pieces. I think of like, you know, the RIP Mausoleum I've talked about recently, that had somebody, you know, being burned alive in it. And in here, you know, this, you can hear like dismemberment happening, and this just has body parts and blood all over the place. And then on top of that, you have, you know, the implied cannibalism part. All that to me thinks that this is probably as far as Lemax could push things, you know, and probably get away with it. And I love that. I absolutely love that. I think it's a lot of fun. As far as the theming here, there's a lot that this could go with. Of course, it's a town building, and this is much more of a monster town building, although I suppose you could put it in a normal town as well. You know, like your butcher shop, if they wanted to be, you know, cutesy, I guess, could just put decor up like this. And it'd be pretty funny, actually, if a butcher shop did that. So it could work in a town section. This would work next to, like, it came out recently, the Mystery Meat Canning Co. I think would be pretty funny next to this. I don't think they totally match necessarily, because that one kind of has a little bit, if I remember right, of like the Western kind of vibes. But the Mystery Meat Canning Company next to this would be funny, just for the implication, you know, of what's going on there and where the mystery meat's coming from. Although I guess it wouldn't be a mystery at that point, would it? Love this piece, guys. I don't know what else to say about it. The lighting on it is great, and when I play the soundtrack here in a minute, that really kind of ties it all together. It just has a wonderful soundtrack, and it's an awesome piece. I love how macabre this is. So that's the Butcher Shop, guys. I adore this piece. This is an absolute stone cold classic, and it's been in production for so long that, you know, if you've got any kind of display that you could display this in, it absolutely belongs there. You know, as I mentioned, I think ad nauseum here, it is a dark piece. It's darkly funny, kind of like a Lemax Spooky Town. You know, when they're at their best, I feel like that's where they're kind of operating in. And this is probably about as dark as it gets, you know, frankly. So, but also there's humor in it as well. I think the soundtrack on it, I did want to mention that here specifically. I'm going to show you what it's like here with the lights and sound. I think it actually has a great soundtrack from back in the day, because with the madness that's going on there, it really kind of conveys that. And so I really do like the soundtrack. If you're going to display this piece here, You know, I think you get the full effect when you have the sound, you know, the soundtrack. And also kind of you have like the thunder and stuff going on too, which helps. But I dig the soundtrack. So anyways, guys, yeah, absolutely love this building. Going into the Spooky Villages Hall of Fame playlist, it's a wonderful building from Lemax Spooky Towns past, and I guess sort of the current because it's easy enough to get these days. So, all right, guys, hey, thank you as always for all the support. I really appreciate it. And you know, as a teaser for the next classic review that I'm going to be doing here, you know, this is going to be really vague, but this is one of my favorite buildings of all time. I have reviewed this on the channel many years ago when my channel was new, and it very much needs an updated review, so I'm very happy to have got my hands on another one by way of my friend Kelly. So I'll leave you with that, and until then, guys, here is the Butcher Shop with the light and sound.